Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of November 26, 2024. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad, MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Cumulative losses. Ukrainian forces have sustained heavy losses since the start of the operation, including the destruction of 649 aircraft, 283 helicopters, and thousands of tanks and armored vehicles. The briefing emphasized the extensive artillery and special military vehicle losses inflicted upon Ukrainian forces.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast, your trusted source for the latest developments from the front lines of global conflicts. Today, we're joined once again by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, who will provide a detailed update on the progress of the special military operation as of November 26, 2024. Colonel, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm here to share the latest developments from the field.
Colonel, let's start with a high-level overview. What are the key developments in today's operations?
Over the past 24 hours, our forces have continued to conduct a special military operation across multiple fronts. We've inflicted significant losses on Ukrainian forces in terms of manpower and equipment while repelling numerous counterattacks. Additionally, we handled provocations near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant effectively, ensuring the safety of personnel and the facility.
You mentioned the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Can you elaborate on the situation there?
Ukrainian forces attempted 5 shellings and 3 UAV attacks on the settlement of Energodar and areas around the Zaporizhzhia NPP. Thanks to our air defense and electronic warfare systems, we intercepted and neutralized these threats. No personnel were harmed, and the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant remains operational, with all systems functioning normally.
Let's break it down region by region. Starting with the North Group of Forces, what progress has been made in the Kharkiv direction?
Our North Group inflicted losses on the 116th Territorial Defense Brigade and the 5th Border Detachment of Ukraine in the Lebedivka and Kazakia Lopan areas. The enemy lost 115 servicemen, a tank, a vehicle, and a 122mm D-30 howitzer.
Moving to the West Group of Forces, what are the key achievements?
The West Group liberated the village of Kopenki in the Kharkiv region and inflicted heavy losses on Ukrainian formations, including mechanized and airborne brigades. We repelled 5 counterattacks and neutralized over 440 servicemen, along with destroying tanks, artillery, and ammunition depots.
The Southern Group of Forces appears to have been active as well. Can you provide details?
Yes, the Southern Group improved its positions along the front line, targeting Ukrainian brigades in Konstantinivka, Dagnoy, and Slavyansk. 3 counterattacks were repelled, resulting in 485 Ukrainian casualties and the destruction of an armored personnel carrier, combat vehicles, and a field ammunition depot.
What about the Center Group of Forces?
The Center Group continued advancing into enemy defenses, defeating Ukrainian units in settlements such as Grodovka and Myrolyubovka. 9 counterattacks were repelled, leading to over 450 Ukrainian casualties and the destruction of tanks, artillery, and self-propelled artillery units.
And finally, how has the East Group of Forces progressed?
The East Group improved its tactical positioning and inflicted significant damage on Ukrainian forces in areas like Razliv and Komar. Ukrainian losses included 125 personnel, tanks, vehicles, and advanced artillery systems. Our operational tactical aviation, UAVs, and artillery targeted military airfields, UAV control points, and enemy concentrations in 135 districts. Air defense systems intercepted 6 French-made hammer-guided bombs, a U.S.-made HIMARS rocket, and 71 UAVs, demonstrating our continued control of the airspace. These figures underscore the sustained impact of our operations.
What can you share about the DNEPR Group of Forces?
The Dnipro Group inflicted losses on Ukrainian territorial defense brigades in Kherson and nearby regions. Ukrainian losses included 60 personnel, vehicles, and artillery systems, including a 122mm self-propelled artillery unit.
The Kursk region has been a key focus. What's the latest from that front?
Our forces continue to dominate in the Kursk region, targeting Ukrainian mechanized, tank, and airborne assault brigades in settlements like Viktorovka and Novoivanovka. Over the past 24 hours, the enemy lost 250 personnel, 4 tanks, 4 infantry fighting vehicles, and various artillery systems. 2 Ukrainian servicemen also surrendered. The situation remains dynamic. Ukrainian forces continue to deploy reinforcements, but our operational superiority and precision strikes are steadily dismantling their capabilities.
Colonel, what are the next steps for your forces?
Announcements regarding a new Ukrainian counteroffensive highlight the ongoing complexities of the conflict, particularly as both sides adjust their strategies in response to each other's movements. The rhetoric from Ukrainian leadership emphasizes a shift from a defensive posture to one of seizing the initiative, indicating a pressing need to engage the enemy proactively rather than reactively. This strategic change is framed as essential for achieving victory, especially in the face of reported threats from the enemy within areas controlled by Kyiv, particularly in the Zaporizhia Oblast. The backdrop of this escalation includes significant military support from Ukrainian allies, with reports of supplies such as ATACMS and Storm Shadow missiles making their way to enemy forces. This development suggests that, despite the narrative of deterioration in the enemy's morale or capability, they still maintain some operational capacity that could pose challenges to Ukrainian objectives.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you. Among the possible directions for a new attack are the Kharkiv region, as well as the Kursk region, where the Ukrainian Armed Forces control zone has already been halved. The land corridor to Crimea, which was originally planned to be broken through Krinky, remains an unhealed wound for the Ukrainian Armed Forces, so a new offensive may be tried there too. Again, the problem with the statements made is that for an offensive of the scale that Syrskyi has planned, 2 key problems need to be solved. The first is to mobilize another 500,000 to 1 million people to cover at least part of the current losses. The second is to mobilize another 500 so that it becomes possible to form brigades from them, which, by the way, need to be equipped with equipment and everything necessary. We have all seen how these issues have been resolved so far. How these issues will be resolved in the near future will become clear in a month or 2.